Erica and Sharon are sisters who began their grief journey in 2006 when Erica's 10-year-old son Austin drowned. Together, they participated in a grief education program, were so moved by this experience, they studied and became specialists so they could help the brokenhearted find recovery. In 2015, tragedy struck their family once again when Erica's oldest son Donovan was killed in a motorcycle accident. Erica and Sharon are committed to sharing their experiences of love, loss, and healing through this podcast. Now your grief specialists, Sharon and Erica.
Hey friends, welcome back. You are listening to Healing Starts with the Heart. I am Sharon Brubaker.
And I'm Erica Honore.
And we are sisters. And this show is for and about grievers. Our plan is to help you, anyone that may be grieving or having a grieving experience going on in their heart. So for example, death is not the only experience in our life that can cause brokenness to show up in our heart. And what Erica and I want to do today is just spend some time with you and share all the different ways that grief can affect us. Today, this show is titled, Grief is Our Love.
Yeah, everyone, when they have a grieving experience, their situation is unique and different. We can't say we know exactly how other people feel. We just know that when we had our experience, we didn't have any direction. So if we can provide some direction to someone who's hurting, that's just our ultimate goal.
We were just kind of talking right now about what is grief as our love. You and I were going over that. What do we want to really get across? But I think the one thing that we really want to get across, and the most important thing, is that the love that you've had for that person all this time in your heart shows up when they're no longer there. And that love fills your heart. And when they're no longer there, the pain, the debilitating pain that shows up from that, them not being there and the realization that they're not there, it becomes almost unbearable.
Yeah, I would say that's absolutely correct. From just my perspective with the boys, I love them so much. And now that they're not here, you're just filled with, a void and no place to put that love,
Yeah.
They were each unique and individual. And now that they're gone, it's like, now what do I do? So the pain I felt, it was so overwhelming, so overwhelming.
So I often describe it, Erica, as I feel like when Austin died, when I found out Austin died, it was as if someone took a knife and just stabbed me straight through my heart. But when I say grief is our love, I feel like the knife was there, but it was being jiggied around, like moved around. That's what it felt like every single day to live without him.
And for me, it just feels like I was under this blanket of sadness and despair. It was so heavy. And first of all, I think the shock. I think that whole first year I was just in shock. I couldn't believe that this had happened to us and that this was going to be my life and that I had to, go through life minus one child. And then when we lost Donovan, it was the same. There was shock, sadness, pain, but then anger and rage at the injustice that not only have I lost one child, now I've lost a second child. So it was similar, but then different because I didn't have the anger and the rage after Austin passed away.
We talk a lot about two mothers that have lost their children, mothers that are struggling with their children, mothers that have had, and fathers too, parents that have a difficult relationship with a child. So we really go after them and their love. What happens, Erica, do you think, when the relationship with their loved one wasn't so perfect? We're talking about how much we love them, but what happens when we didn't love them or their struggle was so tough?
Well, I think that automatically you go to a place of where you feel guilt and regret. And that's one of the things that you and I've talked about before. I always say that grief and regret go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Because the regret is self-inflicted. You feel like, I should have done this. I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have done this. I should have done that. But sometimes, because relationships are not perfect, you feel like, I should have d you've absolutely, you know, exhausted every possibility, and you're still just not getting the outcome because the relationship is challenging. And that happens in life, you know, and I think it's important to just accept the situation, to tell your truth and be honest with yourself about the situation and say, I did the best that I could. I wish things would have been different, but it is what it is, you know?
When I say that grief is our love, it's like we also want the world to know. We want the world
Right.
to know how much we love them. And it's like the world continues to go round. People still go to work every day. They still put gas in their car. They still go to the grocery store. And they don't realize how much I love and miss this person. It's almost like that kind of happens. Like you want to stand at the mountaintop and just scream it out.
Yeah. I think that that is one of the cruelest parts about being a griever is that time doesn't stand still for you.
Yeah.
Your world is ultimately changed. It's forever changed. And, you know, in the moment when you're having the funeral services or, you know, the news has just gotten out, you're shown this outpouring of love and people come around you to hold you up and to, you know, definitely give you love. But then after that next week, they all go back to their normal lives. And you're left holding this bag of pain and sadness and not having any idea what to do now.
Yeah. So, okay, here's the other thing that happens, though, is sometimes we feel relieved that the struggle is over. I just worked with a couple, and their daughter was a major alcoholic and never got the help that she needed, and it was a constant struggle. And when I met with the couple, the husband shared with me that he feels so bad, but that he only felt safe sharing it with me. He's glad that their struggle was over. He's like, at least I know she's in a safe place. At least I know she's not hurting herself anymore. And it's that for him to say that was just gut wrenching. He was bawling because he's like, I have to share this with you. That happens too. Sometimes our love is, we're less than loved one, or we've had the struggle with them.
Well, my heart breaks for any parent that has to deal with a child that is addicted to any substance, because you lose them to the beast of addiction. And it's like when you're talking to them or trying to relate to them how hard and this is for you, they're not hearing you because the substance is taken over. And, you know, they don't even empathize with what you go through as a parent who loves them so much, who only wants the best for them. All they can think about is how they're going to feed their addiction. And so they're on this hamster wheel of just, you know, I'm using, I need to get more, I'm using, I need to get more. So I can absolutely understand that father feeling relief because at least he knows his daughter doesn't have to fight that demon anymore. And so, that, you know, like I said, I just feel so bad when parents have to deal with their child being addicted to a substance.
Erica, we tell our clients that they have to tell the truth always. They have to tell the truth about themselves, but they also have to tell the truth about the other person, right? So being able to say, she was an addict or he was an addict is really tough sometimes. But also being able to say, I'm glad I don't have this struggle anymore. I'm glad I'm not fighting her. I'm glad I'm not having to reach out to her to figure out where she's at, see if she's stealing from my checking account or any of those things, right? That happens sometimes as well. And so I think admitting that within our heart and our gut is sad sometimes.
Well, I'm sure it is. I mean, I'm just trying to put myself in that parent's shoes. And I'm thinking, first of all, when your child becomes addicted to a substance, there you automatically critique your parenting. What did I do wrong? What could I have done different? Why did this, you know, why is she doing this? It's like it's a reflection on you. So you're kind of making it all about you instead of realizing that there's a hurt in your child. There's a hurt in your child that's causing them to seek out these substances that wants them to numb that pain. This isn't about you. It's about them. How can you fix their hurt or help them find the help that they need to fix their hurt. You know, so like you said, telling the truth, being honest about the situation as it comes up, because when you're not and you're making it about you, something is getting lost.
Yeah, so true. So what would be the one thing that I tell the people, you know, tell the truth always, but would you tell them share it with other people or be willing to just say it? I think when he said it out loud, it was almost like a release happened within him. Would you tell people, hey, share this? I think other people in the room may not understand, or they may judge him, or they don't say it because they think they're being judged, right?
Oh,